What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a quick video on another distribution called Enso OS. Now, as I stated in the intro of the video, I want to do a quick review of Enso OS. It's another distribution that I found on Distro Watch. Looks like a pretty cool distribution. I always try to find distributions that I haven't seen other people review, and this one seemed pretty cool. And it also uses the Xfce desktop, which I'm a fan of. So I wanted to try this thing out, as well as review it with you guys, so you guys can see how the operating system works. And another thing about it is Ubuntu based. And let me go down and go to the Distro Watch page so you guys can see a little bit about it. So just bear with me for a second. Okay, cool. So this is Distro Watch. This is one of the websites I typically go to find out about new distributions that I may want to review. And as you can see, this is Enso OS, and right now its ranking is at like 90 something. It's like a up and coming distribution that's it's coming up. It's getting a lot of hits. Yeah, right now it says 99, so it's like 99 on the list of 100 distributions on Distro Watch. So if you go to the main page, you'll see it as like number 99. But anyway, Enso OS is a Linux distribution based on Xubuntu, which is basically Ubuntu with the Xfce desktop. It says Enso features the Xfce desktop with Gala imported from Elementary OS as a default window manager. The distribution also features the Panther application launcher and the Plank dock. So this should be interesting to see. This is a picture of what it looks like. We're gonna go through the install process as well as look at how the distribution is built and the design of it. So let's go on and get started with that. I'm gonna go on and download the ISO and get the virtual machine up and running. That way we can go through the installation. And before I do that, I forgot, I wanted to go to their website. I basically have it open. It's Enso -os.site. So this is their website. Like I said, it says Enso, we believe in greener, simpler computing. And this is how you actually get the ISO. You just download it from this website, and I'll click on it so we can see where the download is coming from. It's actually coming from SourceForge. So I'm gonna download it. It says the status is a beta, but we're gonna go on and download it. I actually don't have it, so I'm gonna download it, and I'll be back with the install in a second. But let me read a little bit more on the distribution. It says environment, a simple operating system for everyone, able to run on any machine. So it is able to run on any machine based on what they're saying. Simple, private, green, and let's see what simple means. Designed with simplicity, and I'm assuming they're talking about the Xfce desktop, which is a very simplistic and low resource intensive desktop environment. So that's good. It says private, no spyware included, which is a good thing. That's always good. We always like to see an operating system that protects your privacy. And then green, it says built on Linux, Enso is able to run on nearly any machine that exists, including those that are no longer supported by Windows or Mac. So they actually making that claim, where you can put it on pretty much any system. So that lets you know the system is, is built. It's not heavy on the resources. So that's a good thing. And if we scroll down a little more, I'm not going to, read too much, but I mean, it pretty much, lays out the design of the actual desktop environment, the Plank launcher. So we'll get to that when we actually have the system up and running. So I'll be back with the virtual machine booted up and we'll start the install process. So let's get started. Okay, cool. So I have the virtual machine built. I have the ISO downloaded. So I'm gonna go down and start with the install. Now this is my first time actually touching this OS. I never installed it before. that was my first time downloading it when you see me click download. So I haven't seen this distribution at all. I don't even know what the installer is for this distribution, but we're gonna walk through it. We're gonna fumble through it, you know what I'm saying, together. So let's go down and get it started. I'm gonna go down and start the virtual machine now. So just give me 1 second. Start. There we go. So should be good. Yeah, and that's basically that kind of looked like it definitely looks like the Ubuntu installer. So like I said, this thing is based on Xubuntu, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna have the same installer as like Xubuntu or Ubuntu. So should look familiar to you if you've ever installed Ubuntu in the past. So let's go down and wait for this thing to come up, and yeah, as you can see, that looks just like Ubuntu. So let's actually see if, and I can't, and so let's go to the try. I'm gonna hit the try first. I'm not gonna go right into the install. I'm gonna go down and pull up the desktop, that way I can get the desktops set up, like the display and everything, so it'll actually look right. So let's go to settings, and then let's go down to the display settings, and then let's go down and change it up right fast. So this is pretty cool. It's already got stuff popping up, and like I said, this is your way of actually trying it before you install it. So that's one thing you want to do with Ubuntu or Xubuntu or any of these different distributions. You want to, you know, go into the live CD and actually try out the desktop before you actually install it on your system. But we can go down and go through the install. They have a link right here on the taskbar at the bottom. So let's go down and click on it and go through the install right fast so you guys can see it, you know, full screen. But you just basically select your language, press continue, your keyboard layout, which is, you know, just set it based on whatever your keyboard is, whatever country you're in and all that stuff. But I'm English US, so hit next. And then right here is download and install updates. Or it actually says download updates while installing Enso. So this saves time after the installation. So yeah, we go down and do that. Press continue. I'm not going to install any of the third-party software, graphics, Wi-Fi, hardware, and additional media formats. And actually, let's go back, because I do want, let me go down and install those third-party ports. And not sure why it switched up on me. Let me fix the display again. I hate when it does that, because I want you guys to see everything on the screen. Let me fix this again. I think that has something to do with VirtualBox. That's why it does that every single time. It'll change the display settings for whatever reason. Not sure. But what I'm gonna do is select to erase the disk and install Enso. You can go into the advanced, you know, setup, or, you know, I'm pretty sure it has LVM and all that stuff. And actually, let's look at it right fast. But yeah, you can use LVM, and also they added something into it, and it's experimental, but you can use ZFS, which is basically another disk format. And I think I talk about that in another video. If you're interested in learning about ZFS, I do have a video partially on it when they first introduced it to Ubuntu. So Ubuntu 20, I think that's when it first was introduced. So let's go down and press OK right there, because I don't want to, or cancel, I don't want to do LVM or anything like that. And then you can also manually set the formatting of the drive, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to use the default and just hit install now. So we're going to go through this install. We'll wait till it finish. I'm gonna hit continue. I'll probably cut on some music and kind of speed this up a little bit, and I forgot it's not done, so let's go down and create the account right fast. And then I'm going to change that Enso, and you can't use that name, so let's go Enso OS. Probably can't use that either, so let's just put Enso OS like that. Let's go down and type in a password right fast. And only if I could type tonight. Oh yeah, and I messed up the second one. That's what it is. All right, cool. So, and I always select require my password on login. I don't recommend you guys selecting login automatically, so let's just press continue there. And now we are going through the install. So this is where I turn on some music, you know, and let it go through the install. And it's really not much for you guys to see. I'll expand that out so you guys can see some of what's going on, even though the text is like super small. But like I said, I'll turn on some music and let it go through the install, and I'll be back when it finishes. Okay, cool. So the installation is complete. I went on and hit the restart button that popped up on the screen, and now I'm booting up the system. I had to remove the ISO from the virtual machine. That way I didn't boot up into it to the live ISO. So let's just press enter, and let's go on and boot up with the system. And let's give it a couple seconds. First thing I'm gonna do is, you know, set the desktop resolution so we can get it set up properly, and it should bring up the login screen in a second. You know, a lot of times when you first, you know, boot up a system, it'll, you know, it'll take a minute for the login screen to come up. But yeah, so this is pretty much Enso OS. So, and let's go down and configure the desktop right fast. So if we go into settings, and let's go to display, and let's go down and change the resolution right fast. As you can see, the first thing that'll pop up is the welcome screen, and this will go through and allow you to set up the system how you want it. So you can click the get started, and as you can see, let me just read a little bit right here. It says welcome to Enso, and then it's 0.4.0 singing sunflower. So I'm assuming that's the code name for this release of this distribution. So let's just hit get started, and it pops up with a couple configuration things. So you can basically configure your user details. So that basically opens up the user mugshot, and you can go through and actually add the remaining information to your account. You can also add your image, and that'll pop up on the screen when you know, at the login screen, it'll have your image there, or you can select one if they have something on the screen. I don't think they have anything by default. You probably have to add some images, but that's pretty much it on that. And then you can go into change the system settings, and I'm assuming this brings up the settings. Yeah, and that's pretty much what that is. It brings up the settings, so you can go through that. I'll go through this a little later, but pretty much if you use Xfce, then you understand how to use this. You know, it's not that difficult to figure out. But install application, this is what they call App Hive, and you'll see it on the desktop, yeah, right here on the dock. But that's the App Hive application, and basically what it is a front end to install all your apps on your system. It's pretty much like a container for a web browser or a website, basically, you know, that pulls in, you know, all the applications that you can install on this system. And then when you click on it, you know, it'll download it from the repository, and I'm assuming Ubuntu's repository, and download everything and install it on your system. So this is all the applications I mean, if you, like I said, this is nothing new. If you've used Xfce, I mean, I know it's some people out there that haven't used it, but this is pretty much how you use it. It has the popular stuff on the first page. So these are, you know, all the applications you might want, they recommend you install, you know what I'm saying? And then you got your categories. It's broken up by category, so you can go through and find applications based on a category. So accessories, audio, communications, you know, internets, games, and then updates. This is where you can update your system. But also you can, you know, simply open up the terminal just like in Ubuntu and type in, you know, sudo apt install, you know, insert application, whatever application you want to install on the system, just like that, you know what I'm saying? You get to go. And then if you click here, learn Enso, I'm assuming this is going to take us to their website, where the documentation is located. So let's just give it a few seconds. Sometimes when you first, you know, install an operating system, or your first time opening up Mozilla Firefox, you know, it takes a while to open up. But like I said, this brings up the documentation. You can see that, you know, so you can go through and learn everything about the actual distribution, like everything they documented when they built this distribution. So let's go down and close that out. And then I'm assuming this is where you can go to a forum board, and this is where you can get help as well. So you can go through and ask questions, you know, on the actual distribution from the community. You can join that community, you know what I'm saying, and ask questions based on what you know, whatever issues you may run into. So that's a good place for people that are just starting in the Linux to go to, you know what I'm saying. You always want to, depending on what distribution you choose, you always want to join a community that's centered around that distribution. That's where you will get the most help and the most up-to-date help as well. So that's one place you want to, you know, check out if you're new to using Linux. But Enso, you know, OS has their own community, so you can join that and actually ask questions. So let's go down and close that. But that's pretty much it on the welcome. We can hit close. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too deep into this actual distribution, because it's a beta based on what they, you know, had on their website and what I've seen. But Xfce is Xfce, you know, no matter what distribution you're on. It just, you know, sometimes looks slightly different. But just starting from the right top, this is the power button. So we can click on that. You know, it's got your typical log out, restore, shut down, suspend, switch users, you know, all that good stuff. You got your calendar over here, you know, time, date, you know, and day. Then you got your battery settings. Then you got your volume settings right here. Then you got your network settings. So you can go in and, you know, manage your network from here. If you had like Wi-Fi, then you would, you know, actually connect to your Wi-Fi from here. So that's all the network settings. And then if we go down here to the left bottom, this is how you actually open up all your applications. Now they have two ways of looking at it. You know, you got your categorized list view, so you can look at them categorized. So this is all the accessories, and this is all the games, you know, graphics. As you can see, this distribution doesn't have much as far as applications. I mean, it has base applications that you would need, but I think they should include it a little more, because I know when I seen this thing, it didn't have like Thunderbird in it, and I'm assuming that's why they referenced on their website that this distribution can be installed on any system because they keep a lot of the heavy resource intensive applications off. You basically have all your base applications, so you can go through and check it out, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have like Open Office or LibreOffice on here either, and as well as Thunderbird. Like I said, that's something I think I would like to see. But it does have, you know, a good web browser. It has Firefox, and I'm not even sure if they, this mail reader. Oh yeah, that's just Xfce's like placeholder for a mail reader. So whatever mail reader, you can set the default, so whenever you click on mail reader, it'll open up Thunderbird. But it also has transmission, which is good, you know, as a BitTorrent client. Then you can go to, let's go back up to accessories. It's got Catfish for file search, the file manager. Let's open that up right fast, and I'm sure this is Thunor. Let's go down, hit properties. Let's see. Yeah, Thunor, there we go. So Thunor file manager is what they use. So Xfce, you know, all day. And then these are the menus based on, you know, whatever application you have open. So you can go to the file and all that stuff from up here, and it'll change. That's similar to kind of like Mac OS. If you guys didn't know, you know, that's kind of why that looks like that. So whatever application is selected in the front, then the menu will show up here. Now this is the terminal. It says Secura. But let's see what kernel is installed on here. So let's go uname -a, and it says Linux Enso OS 5.4.0.48. So that's good. You know, it's pretty much the latest kernel. So good to go on that. Let's go down and close that and close Thunor. But so you can click on the multitask. That'll go through all the different desktops that you have on the system, and that looks kind of buggy right there. Yeah, that's a little buggy right there. So that might be something they need to look at or whatever. And then notes, that's just a little note application. And like I said, you know, it comes with default Firefox, so that's good. Now, one thing I wanted to look at was the settings menu, or just kind of show you guys this. And this is how you'll go through and customize the system. Like we can go through and change the appearance. So they have different, you know, themes that are on here. And I like this Adwanta dark theme. It's pretty cool. I like that one. I always like dark themes, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I enjoy, you know, actually looking at something using a dark theme. But you can go through and change your font settings, you know, all that good stuff. And I've showed a lot of this stuff in the past, so I won't stick around on it too long. But you got your desktop settings, you know, language support, menu editing, panels, and then you got your additional drivers. And like I said, this kind of covers a lot of what I've already covered in a lot of videos, especially when it has the Xfce desktop. You know, this is the settings manager, and it's the same on all distributions that have Xfce. So it's once you've used one, you've used them all. You know what I'm saying? Is you can pretty much find whatever you need within the settings manager that you want to change or whatever. So I won't harp on that too long, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I wanted to keep this review kind of short. This is a pretty cool distribution. I think it needs a little bit more work done. Like I said, it's in the beginning stages of a distro. It's kind of getting a little popular according to Distro Watch, but that could be just people trying it out. It may not be a great representation of the amount of people that are actually installing it and using it. But like I said, check this distribution out, download it, install it, play around with it in a virtual machine, try to break it. You know what I'm saying? That's always a good thing with distributions. Just try to do whatever you can to bang on it and break it or whatever. You know, run a couple of applications in it and try to install things that you typically wouldn't use that are kind of like heavy. you know, on the resources or whatever, just to see if it crashes or anything like that. That way you can send that information back to the developers. Most of the time when a bug pops up or something crashes, it'll pop up asking you if you want to send this back to the developers. I recommend you do that. You know what I'm saying? That'll help them with the development of coming out with a more stable distribution. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please comment if you have any questions down below. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys have any recommendations of any videos you want to see in the future, just let me know down in the comment boxes. You know what I'm saying? I love talking to you guys. I love conversating with you guys about Linux. Like I said, this is one of my passions. I really enjoy it. But I hope you guys have a good day and keep it techie.